Hey tennis fans, this is Andy from Tennis Euphoria, and this channel now exists to provide racket reviews, to give you insights around racket terminology, and to also provide you with some hints and tips around tennis workouts and some information around preventative work that you can do to look after your body, all of which culminates in finding your euphoric moments on court. Before the world shut down, I was playtesting the Head Graphene 360 Plus Prestige line of rackets, and I focused on looking at two of those rackets, the MP version and also the Pro version, as I guess those two rackets will appeal to advanced prestige users. I tested various poly strings, all at 50 to 53 pounds, and looking at some of the tech, the signature Graphene 360 is now across all of the racket, which makes a lot of sense, and Head have added spiral fibres towards the bottom of the face of the racket, which untwist on impact, which potentially could change the feel. The specs for the MP: 320 unstrung weight, 1820 string pattern, 98 square inch head, which is increased by 3 inches, and a thinner beam of 20mm. With regards to the Pro, so that has a 315 unstrung weight grams, 95 square inch head, 1619 string pattern, and a thicker beam of 22mm. Now, in reviewing these, I was quite excited by the MP. I played a lot as a junior with the Radical Tour Bumblebee, which was 98 square inches, relatively heavy, quite accurate in many respects. It was similar to the MP version that I'm hitting with here. The Pro, I also, when I came back to tennis 2 years ago, decided to play with and initially picked the Graphene XT Prestige Pro racket as my racket of choice. Now, to be frank, that was a bit of a disaster. It delivered for me in terms of some aspects of its playability, but it's the only racket that I've ever played with which actually caused some major issues to my arm. Now, that has made me pretty negative towards some of the Graphene rackets. I don't think that they're particularly comfortable, and it never felt like my old Bumblebee racket ever did. And a lot of that sent me on the journey that I've been on to playtest pretty much every racket out there and really come to try and understand what all the technology and terminology means. So in terms of reviewing these rackets on the baseline, the MP was simply fantastic. It's an 1820 Prestige, so it is very, very accurate. Everything that you'd expect in that regard. Great control, but for an 1820 it delivered a depth and a launch angle and much better spin than you'd expect. At times I felt like I was playing with a 1619 string pattern. Maybe that's thanks to the new drill pattern in the racket, which I think is really, really good. Could be something to do with a relatively low swing weight next to its static weight. It makes the racket quite manoeuvrable, and as we all know, power is actually all about how quickly you can move whatever's in your hand and redirect the ball's pace. The Pro, solid from the baseline. I think the increased thickness of the beam does provide some more pop, and it's an improvement with regards to feel compared to its predecessor, probably because of those spiral fibres. However, I did find that on my backhand side I really had to be on my game. I couldn't really defend against big hitters on the baseline with it as well as I could with the MP, and after prolonged hits I was starting to get a little bit of aggro in my arm, and I think that 65 stiffness rating is, probably about right. It felt relatively flexible, but there's something about the Graphene in stiffer end of rackets that for me can potentially hurt your arm. The MP on the other side was very, very comfortable. So moving on to the net, the MP just shone here again. I mean, this is a weapon at the net, and I think that combination of the 320 grams static weight delivers amazing stability, and then the maneuverability of the racket means that you can really move quickly and at pace and put things away. Really was blown away by the racket at net. The Pro, I mean, really good at net too, I have to say. At times I did notice a little bit of instability, and I guess for a 95 square inch it's relatively light at 315, so maybe adding some weight would be something that you'd want to do. Moving on to serve, the Pro actually shone here, so the 22mm improved beam does give it a bit more power, I think. I also found that the 16-19 pattern gives you more pop on your second serve than you would expect, and you could also put people out wide quite effectively. With regards to the MP, no complaints, not quite as good as the Pro on serve, but it certainly delivered everything that I needed. I could hit through on my first serve well and be quite accurate. I could get good kick, and I could put people out wide with a slice serve if I wanted to. So overall, certainly no complaints, but the Pro just about edged it for me with regards to serve. So moving on to some summaries then. So the Pro is a good stick. The thicker beam gives the racket more pop and it makes it more current. I always think the challenge with 95 square inch heads and heavy control rackets, in terms of heavy in their focus, is that it might be difficult to hang out on the baseline with modern game players who hit big with big spin. The MP, wow, I mean, what a fantastic racket. You get all of the buttery feel that you'd expect from old heads, and you also get that ability and forgiveness from the new head size and drill pattern to really hang out on the net if you want to. So for me, the MP is a real winner. It will stay in my bag, and it potentially could be a racket of choice for me. There are others on the market though that are similar. Good launch angle, great control and lovely feel. They would be the Technofiber TF4305, same 1820 string pattern, and also the Yonex V-Core Pro 97 HD, which again is an 1820 with an amazing string launch angle. With regards to the Pro, so that would compare similarly to the Dunlop Strixon CX Tour 1619 and the Yonex V-Core 95. But I have to say, I'd be leaning towards both of those rackets over the Pro, as the Yonex is more comfortable and the Dunlop has comfort and with some added weight just delivers in every respect when it comes to what you're looking for from a 95 square inch head. So hope you enjoyed this video. Please think about liking, telling your tennis friends about it, and subscribing. There'll be plenty more content, less racket reviews over the next few weeks until we can get back on court, but we will have lots of explanations of racket terminology and also lots of fitness videos going up for you. So hope that you can get on court, but most importantly at this time, stay safe, stay well.